Welcome to Black Light History, your daily dose of births, deaths, and events in African American history, exposing the DNA blacks have left in the home we call American history. I'm your host, Adrian. It's September 8th. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into it. Walter Buck Leonard was a legendary first baseman and one of the greatest players in Negro League history. Often called the Black Lou Gehrig, he was known for his consistent hitting and steady presence, both on and off the field. Born on this day in 1907, Leonard played his entire Negro League career with the Homestead Grays from 1934 to 1950. He and his teammate, powerful catcher Josh Gibson, were famously known as the Thunder Twins, and they led the Grays to an incredible 9 consecutive Negro National League championships from 1937 to 1945. He was a consistent hitter with a career batting average of over .320 in the Negro Leagues. Leonard was a record 11-time All-Star, and in his later years, he was offered a chance to play in Major League Baseball after the color barrier was broken, but he felt he was too old to compete and selflessly chose to let younger players have the opportunity. Leonard was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1972 alongside his teammate Josh Gibson, becoming the second and third Negro League players ever to be enshrined. He has been inducted into the North Carolina Sports Hall of Fame and the Pittsburgh Pirates Hall of Fame. The Washington Nationals have included Leonard into their Ring of Honor. Samuel Pierce was a prominent lawyer and politician who held a number of key positions in government. He is best known for being the only African American member of President Ronald Reagan's cabinet. Born on this day in 1922, Pierce was an Eagle Scout and earned the Distinguished Eagle Scout Award from the Boy Scouts of America. During World War II, he served in the United States Army, where he was captain in the Judge Advocate General's Corps. After the war, Pierce earned a Bachelor of Arts degree from Cornell University in 1947, and then received his law degree from Cornell Law School in 1949. He also earned a Master's degree of Law in Taxation from New York University School of Law in 1952. Pierce was a brother of Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity and a member of Alpha Phi Omega Service fraternity. Pierce worked in law and government, serving in a number of significant roles. He was a federal prosecutor and law professor at New York University. Pierce was appointed by President Richard Nixon as General Counsel for the United States Treasury Department and was later appointed to the Board of Directors for the National Railroad Passengers Corporation, better known as Amtrak. In 1981, he was appointed by President Ronald Reagan to be the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. He served in that position for the entirety of Reagan's 2 terms, making him the longest-serving HUD Secretary in history. Pierce argued before the United States Supreme Court on behalf of Martin Luther King Jr. and the New York Times in the important First Amendment case styled New York Times v. Sullivan. Pierce will leave us in 2000 at the age of 78. Today we remember L.C. Greenwood, a fierce defensive end and a key member of the Pittsburgh Steelers' legendary Steel Curtain defense in the 1970s. He was known for his quickness and his signature gold cleats, and his knack for coming up with big plays in the biggest games. Born on this day in 1946, Greenwood played college football at Arkansas A&M College, now the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, where he was a standout defensive lineman. He earned a bachelor's degree in industrial education. A brother of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, Greenwood also served as a member of the United States National Guard Reserves. Greenwood was drafted by the Steelers in the 10th round in the 1969 NFL Draft, and he went on to become an essential part of the team's historic run. He played his entire 13-season career with the Steelers and was one of the 4 key members of the Steel Curtain defensive line, along with Joe Green, Ernie Holmes, and Dwight White. He was a 4-time Super Bowl champion with the Steelers, winning Super Bowls 9, 10, 13, and 14. In Super Bowl 10, he famously sacked Dallas Cowboys quarterback Roger Staubach 4 times. Greenwood was the Steelers' all-time leader in sacks at the time of his retirement with 78. A 2-time All-Pro, he was a member of the NFL's 1970s All-Decade Team and has been inducted into the Black College Football Hall of Fame. Happy birthday to Ruby Bridges, an iconic figure in the American Civil Rights Movement who at just 6 years old became a symbol of courage and a pioneer of school desegregation. Born in 1954, the same year the Supreme Court ruled on Brown versus the Board of Education, Ruby Bridges made a history on November 14, 1960. On that day, she became the first African American child to integrate an all-white William Frantz Elementary School in New Orleans. Her walk into school, escorted by U.S. Marshals while facing a hostile mob, was immortalized in Norman Rockwell's famous painting, The Problem We All Live With. For her entire first year, she was taught in a classroom alone by her teacher, Mrs. Barbara Henry. As an adult, Bridges went on to work as a travel agent and raised a family. She later became a full-time activist and founded the Ruby Bridges Foundation, which is dedicated to promoting tolerance and unity through education. She travels the country speaking to children and adults about her experiences. She has received several honorary degrees from colleges and universities, including Connecticut College and Tulane University. In 2000, she was made an honorary deputy marshal for the 40th anniversary of her historic walk. The Presidential Citizens Medal was given to her in 2001 by Bill Clinton. She was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in 2024. Bridges' book, Through My Eyes, won the Carter G. Woodson Award in 2000. Ruby Bridges turned 71 today. Happy 69th birthday to Hall of Fame point guard Maurice Cheeks. He was a quiet, steady, and incredibly effective point guard who was the engine behind the Philadelphia 76ers championship team in the 1980s. While he wasn't a flashy scorer, his leadership, defense, and ability to make his teammates better made him a legend in Philadelphia. Cheeks played his college basketball at West Texas A&M University. He was a standout there, earning multiple All-Missouri Valley Conference honors. He was then drafted by the Philadelphia 76ers in the second round in the 1978 NBA Draft. He immediately became the team's starting point guard and remained there for 11 seasons. Cheeks was a key player on the 76ers team that went to 3 NBA Finals in the early 1980s. In 1983, he helped lead the team to a dominant season and an NBA championship alongside Hall of Famers Julius Erving and Moses Malone. He was also a top defensive player, earning all defensive team honors 4 times. A 4-time All-Star, Cheeks was inducted into the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2018. After his playing career, Cheeks became a successful coach, serving as an assistant and a head coach for several teams, including the Philadelphia 76ers, Portland Trailblazers, and Detroit Pistons. Today we open the Blacklight Sports Vault to find Althea Gibson, a trailblazer in tennis, winning the 1957 U.S. National Championships, the precursor to the U.S. Open, on September 8, 1957. In the final, she defeated Louise Braw in straight sets 6-3, 6-2 to become the first African American to win the U.S. Open singles title. The victory was a crowning achievement in the historic year for Gibson, as she had also won Wimbledon 2 months earlier. On this day in 1968, Arthur Ashe made history when he won the first ever U.S. Open. The tournament was the inaugural U.S. Open, the first time professionals and amateurs could compete for prize money. Ashe, who was a captain in the United States Army at the time, defeated Tom Orkler of the Netherlands in a thrilling 5-set final with a score of 14-12, 5-7, 6-3, 3-6, 6-3. As an amateur player, Ashe could not accept the $14,000 prize money, which instead went to the runner-up. Despite this, his victory was a landmark achievement. He became the first and only man to win both U.S. Amateur and United States Open titles in the same year. More importantly, he was the first African American man to win a Grand Slam singles title. Dorothy Dandridge was a talented and groundbreaking actress, singer, and dancer who captivated audiences with her beauty and stage presence. She broke racial barriers in Hollywood and paved the way for future generations of black performers. She and her sister Vivian began performing as the Wonder Children at a very young age, touring churches and vaudeville circuits. Dandridge's career began in nightclubs where she became a huge star as a solo singer. She was the first black woman to headline the prestigious Empire Room of the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York. However, she is best known for her film career. Her breakthrough film role came in The Bright Road, 1953, where she starred opposite Harry Belafonte. Dandridge shot to international fame with her next role in Carmen Jones, 1954, where her powerful performance earned her historic recognition. She also starred in Porgy and Bess in 1959 and other films, but she struggled to find roles that didn't stereotype her. For her performance in Carmen Jones, she became the first African American woman to be nominated for Best Actress Oscar in 1955. She was also nominated for a Golden Globe for her work in Porgy and Bess. Dandridge was posthumously honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Her life story was told in 1999 HBO film Introducing Dorothy Dandridge, starring Halle Berry, who won an Emmy and a Golden Globe for the role. Dorothy Dandridge would tragically pass from a drug overdose on this day in 1965 at the age of 42. Happy 50th birthday to actor Larenz Tate. Tate is a talented and versatile actor who has been a prominent figure in film and television for decades. He's known for his intense performances and his ability to inhabit a wide range of characters from dramatic leads to comedic roles. Tate's career took off in the 1990s with a series of critically acclaimed roles that made him a young Hollywood star. Tate is widely recognized for his breakout role as O-Dog in the classic crime film Menace to Society. His performance as the volatile and unapologetic teen gang member was both chilling and memorable. He earned praise for his lead role as Anthony Curtis, a Vietnam War veteran who falls into a life of crime in the movie Dead Presidents. In the movie Love Jones, he starred as Darius Lovehall in this romantic drama, a role that showed off his range and cemented his status as a leading man. Tate played the legendary jazz musician Quincy Jones in this Oscar-winning biopic about Ray Charles in 2004. He has a long-running and popular role as Councilman Rashad Tate on the Starz series Power and its spin-off Powers Book 2. In 2006, he was part of the cast of the movie Crash that won the Screen Actors Guild Award for Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture. Today we remember the life of Roy Wilkins, one of the most important and influential leaders of the Civil Rights Movement. He was a lifelong activist who dedicated his life to fighting for racial equality through the political and legislative systems of the United States. Wilkins was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and grew up in St. Paul, Minnesota. He attended the University of Minnesota, where he majored in sociology and was the editor of the school's African American student newspaper. After graduating in 1923, he began his career in journalism, becoming the editor of the Kansas City Call, an influential African American newspaper. His career in journalism gave him a platform to speak out against racial injustices. A brother of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Wilkins' professional life was almost entirely dedicated to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. He joined the organization in 1931 as an assistant secretary and was later appointed executive secretary. In 1955, he was chosen to be the executive director, the highest ranking position in the organization. He held that position for 22 years until his retirement in 1977. Under his leadership, the NAACP played a pivotal role in the passage of several landmark pieces of civil rights legislation, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964, the Voting Rights Act of 1965, and the Fair Housing Act of 1968. He advised Presidents John F. Kennedy to Jimmy Carter and helped to create lasting change through the American political system. In 1969, President Lyndon B. Johnson awarded him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, and was given a Congressional Gold Medal. He was a recipient of the NAACP's highest honor, the Spingarn Medal, in 1964. Wilkins, throughout his career, was awarded over 24 honorary degrees from colleges and universities across the country, including from his alma mater, the University of Minnesota. Roy Wilkins would pass on this day in 1981 at the age of 80. A park in Queens, New York, a community center in St. Paul, Minnesota, and a high school in Compton, California are all named in his honor. The Oprah Winfrey Show was a cultural phenomenon that transformed daytime television and made its host, Oprah Winfrey, a global icon. The show was released nationally on September 8, 1986. It quickly surpassed its main rival, The Phil Donahue Show, and became the highest-rated talk show in television history. It was praised for shifting daytime talk show from sensational trash TV to more meaningful conversations about personal growth, spirituality, and social issues. Its high ratings and positive reception cemented Oprah as a trusted and influential voice. The show received 47 Daytime Emmy Awards, a record for any daytime show. In 2000, Winfrey decided to stop submitting the show for consideration to allow other shows to have a chance to win. It won multiple NAACP Image Awards for Outstanding Talk Series. The show won several GLAAD Media Awards for its positive portrayal of the LGBTQ community. Happy 38th birthday to rapper Wiz Khalifa, an American rapper, singer, songwriter known for his laid-back, weed-centric persona and his consistent success as a mainstream artist. He is a prominent figure in the hip-hop world and has a dedicated fan base. Wiz Khalifa's career took off with his signing to Rostrum Records and the release of his single, Say Yeah, in 2007, which was a hit on the urban radio charts. However, his big break came after he left a major record label deal and found success as an independent artist. In 2010, his hit, Black and Yellow, an anthem celebrating his hometown of Pittsburgh, became a massive hit. The song reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart In 2015, he released the song See You Again with Charlie Puth for the movie Furious 7. The song was a global phenomenon, spending 12 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and becoming one of the most viewed videos on YouTube. Nominated for several Grammys, See You Again won the Teen Choice Award for Choice Music R&B Hip Hop Song. And finally, on this day in 1993, Jocelyn Elders became the first black and second female to become Surgeon General of the United States. Appointed by Bill Clinton, Elders would only last 1 year and 114 days in the position. She was forced to resign due to her views on legalizing drugs and sex education. That concludes today's events. If you've enjoyed the content, please like and subscribe to the channel. Starting September 15th, I'll be back bringing you daily content. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. And remember, African American history is American history. So join us again tomorrow as we shine another light on Black Light history.